hopefully you better. There we go. All right, let's see that's better. All right. Oh, live. Let's see. Let's try it again. All right. Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me? I don't know if this is using the phone or it's using my headphones. Not sure. Oh, Streamlabs looks like crap. Let's see. How do I make this look better? Video settings. Okay, that's better. My quality is pretty bad. Here from the headset, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, it's a bit muffled, but we can make it out. If I take one of these out, that makes it sound better. There's a lot of noise in the shop. The laser's noisy, the fan's noisy, and then there's an industrial chiller that's noisy as well. Everything's noisy. Well, we'll see how that sounds. I don't know if it's any better or not. It made a big difference taking one out. Interesting. Okay, good to know. All right. Yeah, just kind of streaming the shop. I figure I'm out here cutting a bunch of grips. Might as well, I don't know, record it. But I'm not used to streaming from mobile, so I'm not, I'm not 100% sure how this all works out. It's definitely not my normal setup. Happy birthday, Brandon! Tomorrow's your birthday. Awesome. What's your build you plan on making? The lag on the monitor, yeah, it's like Inception. The run of TX16S grips. So this is all an order for race day quads. They place about an order every 3 weeks or so, 3 to 4 weeks. I've never actually figured out how many of my grips they sell, but I think it's a lot. If I had better records keeping, I would know. But yeah, well, here we go. No, it is Aaron's birthday tomorrow, isn't it? Cool. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of lag. Um, kind of give you a bit of a close up of what's going on here. So this is the Tweed FPV blue material, and we're gonna cut. What are we cutting? We're gonna cut the X9 light grips. Oops. There's the files. And so we're going to cut 5. Let's do, there we go. That's not going to work. 2. Four, and cheeky cam 5. I started up there. So this is just a preview of what's coming from that camera onto here into Lightburn. And then the camera's not 100% perfect as far as like where the boundaries are. So I can always just hit frame and it will kind of trace out the outer perimeter of my cut. And make sure my parameters are right. Okay, there we go. All right, close that. Try to keep all the lasers in there. Can I cut custom battery pads? I've tried cutting the battery material, and I can. Yeah. I have not tried cutting carbon, but I should. Wearing glasses? Nah, not too worried about it. Lasers only go in a straight line. And then I always keep the acrylic hood closed. There's really no risk. I've yet to burn myself with a laser. So then after I gotta weed each one of them. Most of my grips are about 6 pieces. So grips in the bag, alcohol white because everyone gets one. It saves me on returns. And then just heat, tear. There you go. The old laser I had was so small and slow that I was waiting on the laser all the time. Can you cut G10? I don't know. Never tried. I never had any G10 to try cutting. I wanted to try cutting G10 on my CNC, but G10 was almost the same price as carbon fiber. So it was like, well, what was the point? Yeah, I can cut through Velcro, no problem. Like one of these is missing a piece. Yep, that one. Every once in a while, like I change how the patterns are laid out, and kind of the hardest part is just trying to keep track of which grips are which, and which pieces go where. Yeah, it's all messed up. I try to keep some sort of quality control going on here. That one's right. Is it cut on a CO2 laser or is it cut on a fiber laser? They're very um, two completely different stuff. Two different things, not two different stuff. Jeez. Um, I want to get fiber laser, but yeah, kind of hard to justify it though. The plastic weave. Okay. I'd probably be able to cut it. Maybe I'll throw a chunk of carbon fiber on there in a little bit and see what happens. If I pass out on stream, you guys can call 911. This material is, I don't know, like the gases that come off of it are pretty damn corrosive. Like everything in the laser that I don't have slathered with grease is basically rusting. Every once in a while, I get people over in like Korea and China that want to stock these things, so they want my files. Of course, I'm not going to give them those. So then they place an order for like 100 grips, and they said, "Well, just tell me where in Shenzhen to go pick them up." I'm like, no, no, that's not how it works." Oh, all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I made the mistake of individually bagging each type of grip a long time ago, and it's become a norm that I wish I wouldn't have started. So I spent a ton of money in Ziploc bags, but I don't know. Keep First Day Clubs happy. They've been just freaking awesome with all this stuff. X9 light flat. So to get an order, I usually got to like come out here and make sure I've got enough material off the roll and flattening out. So the laser has a focal range. If you get too far away from it, it doesn't burn through properly. Or if you get too close, it does the same thing. So the light has a sweet spot where it converges, and right there is where it wants to cut. And different length lenses have longer conversion zones, but then it becomes a wider spot. So you got to kind of make sure the material is just the right distance away from the lens. X lights, black. 5. No, no, don't like that one. I've got a bunch of different models of each grip on here. I've kind of changed the way they are over like the last couple years. except for I never delete the old ones. Oh, not gonna fit. And I know there's way better optimization I could be doing to this stuff, and just sometimes it's just not worth it. Like I've downloaded and used like an optimizing program, which will take each individual piece in a given space, and it'll rotate and fit and jam all the pieces in there. Problem is I will then struggle to like bag the parts in the right order. Not good enough. Oh, where's that? Let's see. Yeah, RD2 is a awesome company. Yeah, I remember you telling me your brother works at Powers Golf Course. It's weird that he bought a golf course. So I'm gonna grab some Jumper T Pro. Thanks, man. Glad you like them. In the beginning, it was so hard to convince people that to take a chance on these things. They're like, "Oh, my hands will get all tore up because it's like rubbing your hands on sandpaper." I'm like, "Yeah, but do you rub your hands in your radio or do you hold the damn thing?" Um, there's been people that were just like, "No, they're going to be absolutely terrible." I'm like, "Just buy a set. You don't like it? I'll give you my guy." Um, but I originally just started making them for myself, and then a couple of guys I fly with saw them. They're like, "Yeah, I want some of those." And it just kind of morphed into this behemoth of a thing, shipping these things all over the world. And I avoid customs by sending them in the mail like a letter. It's also really cheap to do it that way, but it skips customs, which is fine. But you know, like, I charge $3 to ship international, and you know, it takes a while though, especially like during COVID times. It was shipping times was horrible. But I started off using just like a cheap Chinese K40 laser, and that's not saying anything bad about the fact that it's a cheap Chinese laser, but that's if you go to search for it on Facebook or anything, that's how it's referred to. K40, it's just a 40-watt small format laser, CO2, and they're just they're everywhere. Like if anybody gets started in laser cutting, they're starting off with a K40 of some sort. It's just a generic laser. They're made a bunch of different ways, but they're all fairly fairly close to being the same. This is an OhmTech, so it's a I don't know, like an entry level commercial laser. It's a 100-watt laser. Um, Pretty good. I like it. It does the job. It's fast, way more faster. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Next stop. There we go. Yeah, Brian. The first stream was just going straight through like the YouTube app, and it won't let you. It won't let you stream from a headset or anything. So it was using the microphone on the camera, which was picking up all the background noise from the laser, the fan, the industrial chiller I got down there. It says I got a radio question. I'm gonna hook up with a X-Lite Pro. Can I just move my models from the OG to the Pro? Yeah, it should be fine. The only difference is the Pro Oh wait, no, X-Lite, X-Lite, X-Lite. So the only difference is there's two shoulder momentary buttons. If those were mapped to something, it won't work. They just have to remap them, but it's pretty trivial. Well, the old laser I had, this was as big of a sheet as I could fit in it. So I was literally cutting like 2 grips at a time, trying to fill orders of 100. So I'd spend a good portion of my weekend doing that. DJI Radio Black. We'll go in a second. And it seems like each color cuts differently too, which I kind of guess makes sense. X9D radio is my least favorite to cut because I made so many stupid little pieces for that radio. I was like, let's just delete half the pieces. Luckily, I don't sell too many of those anymore. Two biggest sellers are the Tango 2 and the Mambo. Like, hands down, the biggest sellers. And the best-selling material is it's just this blue urban tiger stripe camo pattern, and I absolutely hate working with this material. I wish I never would have started using it, and I wish people didn't like it. The reason I hate it is it comes rolled up in a super tight tube, like a 1.5-inch round tube. And when you go to roll it rolls out just fine, but then the backing gets wrinkly and creased, so it kind of messes with the cut. It takes forever to get it flat, and then I've usually got to peel the backing off of it and flatten it back out so it actually lays straight on the laser. Pain in the butt. I'm talking to Race Quads about reducing the variety I have, and they would be happy if I did that. I would be too. Or you just carry like 3 different colors. Still offer custom cuts, like custom patterns and stuff like that. The first color I'm going to cut out is orange. I don't sell a ton of it. That was a custom color I stocked for a Pyrodrome before they tried to fuck me over. So I don't sell them anymore. It was a bad relationship from the beginning. Let's wait. So we need to update OpenCase firmware on the radio, then that's the time. Are they both on Edge TX? I never tried swapping models over. Yeah, CID Purple is definitely what I'm going to keep. It's like maybe like the 3rd bestseller I got. That, and I also bought an entire friggin' case of it directly from the people who make it in China. That big box there is all CID grip tape. I don't know if I've ever shown. I don't know if I've ever done a tour of the shop. This is just everything. Just kind of collects in this hellish nightmare of a shop. It's just junk everywhere. Um, now I've shown videos of cutting carbon fiber. It, it's an old Shipoko 3, one of the small ones, but it works pretty good. Got a bunch of carbon fiber chunks around here. I can't ever throw anything away. You never know when I'm going to need a little piece. This thing's almost done. The rest of the parts came in today to finish it. Hopefully get that started. I don't know, maybe by this end of the weekend. I don't know. I got other stuff I got to work on. Yeah, DJI video. Race day flags usually orders in like quantities of 5. It looks out. That's just hard to make this work. Set that one for later. And sometimes it's just not worth my time to try to make everything fit perfectly and maximize the usage. Sometimes it's just not worth it. Rudolph, hello, how you doing? Usually try to have a set cutting while I'm bagging. Just kind of, do things efficiently. It's like a food truck. If you're standing around not doing anything, you're not doing it right. Got a chance to fly the Chris Rosser AOS5R build that I just did. Looked pretty nice. Looked pretty darn nice. It's a weird frame. The thing's like a tuning fork. You tap it and the whole thing just vibrates. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's got his special magic blend of herbs and spices, carbon fiber. Whatever the carbon fiber is for the arms, like I got so many splinters from those stupid arms, like they're just shedding splinters. It's weird not having the chat in front of me all the time. Got my back to the camera. Good streaming, and then that noise, that's the air compressor just kicked on because this thing's got air assist, so it's constantly blowing air at the work so it doesn't catch on fire, and it also kind of keeps the smoke down a little bit, a lot of it, but mostly it just keeps the work clean and not on fire, which is a good thing I hear. Nose itches. I need to get a set of your grips from the Mambo. TweetFB.com or Race Day Quads if you just happen to be placing an order. That's another good place to get it. They're all the DJI FPV radio. I'm surprised that they sell so many. I don't ever sell any of these, but RDQ sells a ton of them. TX12 in blue. And the whole grid bed in here comes out, and there's a knife bed for cutting like bigger objects where you don't want to worry about the laser reflecting back up in your work. And then you can take that grid out, and I've got a rotary so I can engrave like tumblers and cups and things like that. You can do an awful lot with this machine. Man, my nose itches. Ah, 612. Oh, TX12. Why is it so too late? That's not too late. No, update. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four, one, two. I don't sell a ton of these, so I mean, sometimes if I cut extra, that's fine. I'll just stock them in my inventory, but there's some grips I just personally don't sell a whole lot of, so I try not to keep a ton of excess inventory on hand. Although I still have quite a bit on hand. I think we're gonna do like a half off weekend. But the deal is, I pick the color. I just grab one out of the box, chuck them in there. It could be black, could be purple, could be pink, could be white, could be paisley printed. Who knows? I think it would be an interesting way to do it. Blue takes more power to cut usually. I'm not entirely sure why, but blue's one of those ones. If I don't up the power or drop the speed, I end up having to like really peel material out when I weed them. Let's see. Splinter carbon doesn't sound that much fun. No, it's terrible. It'll actually oxidize your blood. You'll see your fingers start to turn green if you don't get it out. Like at work, if I get carbon fiber in my skin at work, their procedure is to remove that chunk of skin, not pick it out, remove it. It's it's quite aggressive. Um, so nobody gets carbon fiber in their hands. If you pick it up when I'm laying down here. I used to make I have this material. It's a rubber. This is really cool stuff, and I made a bunch of grips out of this, especially for like the soldering irons. But it's so um, it changes so much with temperature that it's really hard to do anything other than flat surfaces with it. It wants to peel. The adhesive isn't very good on this. There's a bunch of different manufacturers of grip tape that I've gone through that just have garbage adhesive on them. Black Diamond has been my go-to for everything. It has the best adhesive on it out of all the different brands I've used. Um, of course, good adhesive doesn't do anything for you if you don't prep your radio well, which is why I always include one of the alcohol packs or white. So I was getting a lot of people in the very beginning that were just like, "Oh, these things won't stick, they won't stick." They show like pictures of the radio, and you could, I mean, it looks like someone dumped 30 weight on it. It was just covered in grease. So I started including the wipes to kind of not only to give them something to clean the radio with, but also kind of show like, oh, maybe I do need to clean the radio. Maybe there's some prep that needs to be done. And then also the addition of heat makes a tremendous difference. Clean, heat, pressure. That's the secret. And there's like adhesion promoters you can put on there too. You don't need it. I also have cut a set of grips for a guy just recently out of neoprene foam. He didn't want the gripping material because it was like pulling little fibers out of his drone bag. So I made him a set out of neoprene rubber, like a foam almost. But he hasn't gotten back to me on how they worked out. It was kind of like I'll send them to you, you tell me how they work out type thing. Mystery half off sale, yeah. Yeah, sounds like fun, right? Until some dude ends up with pink grips on a radio. Which, by the way, the pink grips, say what you want about it. Like when you go to, say you go to like a micro event, there's always kind of like that purpley ultraviolet light going on. Those pink grips they pop. Like they're incredibly bright under like UV type lights. 3, 4, 5. How many I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, all right, I don't count well. I do have some of the neoprene. I don't know how well it will do on a Tango 2 just because it has such um, complex curves to it. The Tango 2 really, you need to use a lot of heat to get that adhesive to want to, the adhesive and the grip tape want to like almost like cave in on themselves. And that really helps go around the corners on the Tango 2. I don't know if the neoprene would work. Um, and it's really thin. It's like 1/8 inch neoprene. Um, really thin stuff. And I don't know how good the adhesive is. Like I said, I've only cut one set of grips for it. It was just kind of like a tester to see how it worked out. Um, there's been plenty of material and plenty of patterns I've tried, and if they don't hold up, I don't carry them because I don't want to deal with people saying, "Hey, these things they don't stick." All right, I want happy customers over having customers. If that makes any sense. I don't want to deal with returns, things like that. 12 in red. Don't sell a whole lot of red. I really hope I have some cut. Thank goodness. Red PX12. Let's see. But Derek, if you want to try them out, we can work something out. I'd be more than happy to send you a set. But like I said, no promises how well they're going to work out for you. I don't have a Tango 2 anymore. I traded my Tango 2 and my Orcas for a set of DJI D2 goggles for ride-alongs for when I do like drone demonstrations at universities and things like that. Which people like FPV a lot more when they're looking through the DJI goggles than analog. Shocker, right? Yeah. So Ethan, so there's a company I followed on. I bought a bunch of stuff from them back in my shooting days when I used to do a lot of shooting. It's called SOE. I think it's SOE Tactical, and they specialize in like tactical gear, things like stuff like that. It's all hand sewn by them. I think out like Minnesota, but they produce combat combat roosters. So it's like a rooster, like a little triangle looking rooster thing, and you put your morale patches on there, and it's the combat cock. They're pretty funny. And then at work, we have the Golden Rooster Award that we hand out to people that are exceptional at their job of blue falcon and dude next to them. I love this blue material, not the color, but the actual material. It's thicker than the rest, so like the grips are like I don't know, that hardy feeling. It also makes them harder to install on curved surfaces unless you use an adequate amount of heat. Laser maintenance. I'm a little on the lazy side about it. You got to clean the mirrors every once in a while. They're made of molybdenum disulfide, so they do tend to kind of oxidize. And then as they oxidize, they don't transmit the light as well. And when they don't transmit the light as well, they get hot. And when they get hot, they shatter. Um, I do keep an extra set of lenses on hand just in case I break a set. Hasn't happened yet with this laser. It happened with my last one a couple times. Um, this one is, the lenses are bigger and thicker, so they can handle a lot more heat. But then again, or a lot more power. But then again, this is also pumping up to 100 watts as opposed to the other one. It was 40, but it was more like 30. Zorro, Radio Master Zorro, everyone's favorite radio. I really like my Zorro. You don't have a Zorro, you should get a Zorro. Um, especially that the AGO one gimbals are coming out for it. It literally doubles the price of the stinking radio, but um, man, it's going to make it just all that much nicer. Um, not that there's anything wrong with the gimbals that come on it; they're just fine once you open them up and adjust them to your preferred tension and all that stuff. They're pretty good. Slap a little of that Nia gel on there to really dampen things out. But everybody's everybody's on the hype train about the AGO gimbals. I want to give them a try. Literally doubles the price of the radio. Ooh, IDQ must be selling a ton of these things. I usually order quantity. Mm, not liking how you spit. There we go. That'll do it. Let's see. This is gonna be a tight one. I'm just watching the path of the laser just to make sure it stay on the sheet. Say that again. It's a little tight on this side. What's what's going on here? See this guy? Try it again. So it's a little red dot. It's not actually showing the path of the laser. It's literally just a little laser pointer that's pointing down at the bed, which is fine once you get your height set. You set your laser, but as soon as you move the bed up and down for different thickness of materials, change the focus. That red dot no longer is accurate. Oh, how many tips even is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You think those fancy gimbals will fit my T12 Pro from Jumper? I don't know, but what I can do is when I take them out of my Zorro, I can mail you one of my old gimbals from the Zorro, and you can see if it fits. And if it does, then let me know. That way I can announce it and then put an affiliate link and make some ash off of it. What do you ever think about that affiliate life? But no, I don't know. I don't remember what the innards of that radio looked like. I know they were cables, so that's a good sign. But I don't know how the mounting works out. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if it was any different because these manufacturers, they all like to use like industrial jelly bean parts. You know, something that fits on everything else. You know, change the case around it. You know, the thing that's special to the radio, but don't change the guts. That way, you're not tooling up new pieces. Um, but it's also going cross-platform from Radio Master to Jumper, so it's I don't know. But I'll tell you what, like I said, what I'll do is once I get those, I'll send you one of my old gimbals, and if it fits, then we'll know. And knowing is half the battle. Gee, I don't know. Sure, I'm done reading these things. What do you think? Sounds like fun. Sounds like fun. Hey, how'd that whip store work out for you? Hope you like it. I really enjoyed that charger. The V2 is just better because they're actually using PH 2.0 connectors on it, but um, it worked. It worked well for me. I thought it was reliable. I didn't. The layout on top sucks if you're charging 450s that aren't on aren't on like a cable because you can't fit them in there. Also, since I'm planning on staying away from YouTube and Discord for a little while after tomorrow, I took my last couple live streams and I took out some, pertinent excerpts from them, anywhere from like 6 to 8 minutes a piece, and I uploaded videos of those. Maybe 4 or 5. I don't know what you guys think about it. We'll see. We'll see how the analytics look on it. Um, that's all the TX12s. Perfect. Look at that. Love it. You guys can't see what I had seen, but just, I don't know, something about just the faint hint of light you see through this thing. It's, I don't know, I find it cool. I find it awfully cool. Also, it's freaking laser beam, so, I mean, I hope you like it. Shark with freaking laser beams. I get demonetized for that. My favorite thing is whenever anybody asks, how do I cut these? I always put the stupid meme of the shark with the laser beam coming out of its head because how could you not? All right, let's see. This is 12. Is that what this is? 12. I'll say that as a profile of 12. And, I'm out in my garage. I have a coax, like an RG45, going from the house to here, and I have a Mocha adapter, so it's injecting Ethernet or my intranet into that coax cable, and it's coming out in here, going into a router. Wi-Fi's in this room. All the laser files are on my NAS, my server in the house. I got everything pretty well integrated. So I wasn't really sure how much bandwidth I'd have in here to be able to stream and run the computer and the laser and all that stuff. I should be able to do some music at the same time, just so I have something to listen to. But so that's another day. Iron grips. How many are that? 5, 4, 4, and what keeps over here? Yep. Yeah, I mean, I kind of overkill for a GoPro. No, that's actually that's the phone. Yeah, I don't like Mocha either, but the coax. No, the coax wasn't already here, but the conduit from the house to here was here. I couldn't get a. Uh, it was gonna be really difficult to get uh, a Cat5e cable from my panel to the outside of the house where the conduit is going to the garage. Whereas there was coax already coming out of that panel for when they built the place and had like DirecTV installed or something like that. Um, I'm sure I could have done it. It would definitely be better. It was just a quick and dirty way to get this stuff working and to have a reliable connection out here. But it's not, it ain't fast. I'll tell you that. But it works. It works. Um, there's a power circuit. Yes, but I tried. I know what you're getting at. I tried that. It did not work for me. I tried doing the Ethernet over whatever they call it. Didn't work. The connection was far too unreliable. It's also a really long run. It's probably probably 50 yards from where it's got to come in at. But yeah, I tried that. I bought the really nice adapter things. I mean, it worked, but it was like every other day. I was going inside, unplug one, unplug the other, go plug them back in. Oh, I got a connection. Oh, wait, it's like less than dial up. But the Mocha adapters are working fairly well. Every time the house gets hit by lightning, though, they die. Let's see, what do we at? Let's do speed test. Let's see, 13 meg download, 12 meg roughly. That's pretty good for where I'm at. My internet service is a shitty uh, 25 megabyte bonded uh, DSL connection, and that's the only option I got. 12.7 download, 2.8 upload. I probably crashed the stream by doing that. So, yeah, the internet here sucks. Not a lot of options, but compared to where I used to live, up in northern Michigan, where I did not have internet for 5 years. Speaking of which, sold the house up there 2 days ago. Gone. No longer own a home up there. Don't know how to feel about it. I really like that place, but I don't know. Tired of being a landlord. Market was hot. We sold it to our first tenant after we moved out of there. Really nice people. We really hooked them up. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have been able to afford the house if we didn't. Um, we probably could have made more just putting on the open market, just letting it do its thing. But I know people are in there that really love the place. They love the area. They made good friends with the people that live on our road. I don't know. They're just good people. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm going to miss it. I'm not really going to miss the house so much. It was just the area. That northern Michigan, Traverse City area is just fantastic. The house was a little on the small side, had a good garage, heated by wood, had an outdoor wood boiler I put in. I mean, I poured blood, sweat, and tears into that house. But, I shared a driveway with one other person. I also had a small cabin on that property that I rented out to kind of cover some of the mortgage. So I shared a driveway with, I guess, 2 different families. And that was 8 years ago. And now there's like 5 different families back there. And they're just constantly expanding. I don't know. Sharing a driveway with people fucking sucks. My driveway sucked too. It was just a greasy, nasty driveway. I always have to take the tractor every month and go grade the whole driveway. Otherwise, there's craters that'll suck up your car. Yeah, that's the other problem is the there's big companies buying up everything up there. It's becoming gentrified very quickly. People are getting priced out of actually being able to live. I mean, for what I don't feel good about what I sold a house for. Like, we made a shitload of money on it. What we sold the house for, is that what it's worth? No, but that's the market dictates. So I'll think of what it's worth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Got some extras. My stock. See you, Brandon. I'll be doing this again in the morning. And happy birthday as well. Have a good one. That connection is cancer. Yeah, it sucks. I have no other choice. When I was living up in Michigan, I did Wild Blue satellite internet. It was something. Otherwise, there was nothing, and it might as well have been nothing. That was hot garbage. Like, I take it back. It was fast. Had a high latency. It was fast, but you'd run through your data cap like that. Like like in no time, data's gone. But after I think like it was like from midnight till 4 in the morning, whatever data you used didn't count towards your cap. And if you were already over your cap, where they slow you down to like 1 megabyte a second, it goes back up to full speed. And I worked nights, so it worked out. Um, but and you don't realize how much data you use until you actually have a cap. It is just stupid. Yeah, I think Blackstone was one of the companies in the area that is snatching up houses left and right. But I mean, it's not like they're not for the seller. I mean, it works out. They're paying a premium. You know, they're not screwing people over. But when they go to, when people go to buy, though, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird world we're living in. You can hardly survive without two incomes. But then again, we have a lot of frivolous stuff that we have nowadays. Phones, cell phone service, internet, subscription to 3 different streaming device subscriptions. It's just, I don't know. Real old man tweet. It's about them goddamn kids. High speed single internet. As I'm staring at a 1972 Suzuki here that I just almost finished restoring. I don't know. Is it? Am I living in the past? Is it a nostalgia thing? I don't know. I just love it. Um, this bike here was very much like what I rode as a kid for a very long time. It is almost done. I don't get it starting tomorrow. Probably Monday. I think I've got the rest of my parts. It's got a prime the oil system on it. It's a two smoker, but it's oil injection. But it's a fresh top end, fresh bottom end. I'll be putting premix in the tank at least for the first tank. What the heck happened to this bag? I get complaints about my packaging. They're like, "Oh, you need better packaging with a logo," and I'm like, "Why? It's just going to go in the trash can." These are dirt, dirt cheap sandwich bags that come on a spit. It's cost almost nothing, and it's just going to go in a landfill. Like, why would I spend money on packaging? I feel like most people, if like cell phones, like you get the unboxing experience. But if I said you could save $10 and I send it to you in a cardboard box with cellophane on it, I guarantee you, most people are like, oh yeah, just send the cardboard box. I'm getting old and grumpy. No, I'm not grumpy. I'm actually, I don't know, I've been in a very good mood for a very long time. Yeah, my wife and daughter don't live with me anymore, so maybe that's why. That might help. Blue grapes. You know what? I always keep like decent sized scraps of material because like things like the soldering iron grips, they're excellent for like using up leftovers. It's basically it's basically free. If you think about it. Um, I give Race Day Quads one hell of a discount on these things just because they sell in bulk. And they really get my name out there, which I'm cool with that. They've never once asked about renegotiating a price. Um, yeah, I am a big fan of race day quads. Plus, uh, the owner, the owner's in the military. I'm in the military. I think it's one of those things. I use a fancy laser beam thing to etch a roll of bags. These bags are, it is the thinnest material I could possibly find. Like it would just blow a hole through it. The laser doesn't come on below. I think the lowest I can go is like 11 watts, which is just like nuclear to these things. There's a the laser driver is not the highest quality on this thing, so it does have a certain threshold where it just won't come on. Hey, thanks, matey. Right, Shane? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, both me and my wife are active duty military. That's why we don't live together right now. Gotta do what we gotta do. It'll be interesting next year. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to sustain the whole um, tweet after the YouTube thing. My daughter is going to be living with me next year. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. We're finding that we prefer her to go to school in the South than up in Chicago. Um, it's also a insane amount cheaper to go to school here, private school, than it was up in Chicago. Hey, Freeloader, how you doing, man? You have a good evening yourself. I'll be streaming in the morning. Picked up a new hobby, roasting my own coffee beans. My buddy Brent, another coaster that I work with, he owns Ruby Moon Coffee. That's the coffee I'm always pushing on the live stream. Great stuff. I talked to him about it. He's like, "Hey man, why don't you start roasting your own coffee?" I mean, I buy beans from him. He's losing business, I guess, but it's a community thing. He says like all the roasters like talk and help each other out. So he talked me into roasting my own beans. I love it. It's fun. It's very interesting. He started like I bought like a bag out of like green raw Guatemalan beans, which believe it or not, raw coffee beans smell terrible. It's just smell like dirt and like grass clippings, but not like good dirt and grass clippings. Uh, so I bought a bag of that. I've been pretty pleased with the results. Um, and he started giving me bags of like Honduran coffee and stuff from like the Yucatan Peninsula. Just all the crazy things that he picks up. So it's been fun. It absolutely does. I started doing it on. Let's see, that was well, that's from Blue Camel. I started doing it on an old popcorn popper, like old like when I was a kid. My mom used this popcorn popper. Um, it's terrible making popcorn. Like the popcorn that came out of this thing was always kind of like it was always like wet. So when you chew into it, the popcorn didn't snap. It just kind of like packed into your teeth. So I was using that for the first couple batches I made, but the polycarbonate on the little bowl that goes on top was so old and dried out that it broke like after about two batches of beans. So that was short lived. So I went and bought an actual like purpose built coffee roaster, kind of a home gamer one. Doesn't do a ton, but it's built for the purpose. It's a if you guys are sitting next to the Googler, it's a fresh roast SR800. And in typical fashion of mine, I did not buy a new one. I don't own anything new. I buy all used stuff. Well, except for this. This is new. But, um, that first K4E laser I bought, that thing was used AF when I bought it. And I used it even more. That I paid $200 for that first K4E laser. I had to drive to Hattiesburg to get it. So that's like a 6-hour car drive. Paid for this thing